introduce yourself before I ask?
Marcus Finn, Branch Head for the Environmental Water and Aquatic Ecosystems Division.
I think when we last met in this room, we were discussing the review and where the review is at. Has it been completed now?
Yes. So I think you're referring to what we call the mid-term review for the Institute, which was a review that we set up. It was really an administrative review to have a look at the current contract and see whether there are any changes that we need to make to the contract in partnership with the Goolwa Institute to make sure the last parts of that current contract were successful. So that's we completed that, and I think sent the final copy to the Goolwa Institute 2 weeks ago. I think that would have been.
Right. So is that a public document now?
It was an internal document we don't intend to publish, but I have spoken to the Goolwa Institute and said they're welcome to share with partners, interested parties, people who participated.
So what was the outcome of the review? Was it positive?
Very positive, yeah. So I think, like, in an overall sense, I think the feeling of everyone that we interviewed as a part of that mid-term review was had overwhelmingly positive sentiment towards the work, and particularly towards the models and the way that the Goolwa had, all the things that they had put in place to roll that out, including pretty deep community engagement and partnership with First Nations people in the region.
So what are the next steps now, post the review and then the bid for further funding?
Yeah. So I think, and I'll sort of distinguish those two components if I can. So the review itself was about the current contract, it's $8 million over 4 years. We are coming to the end of that $8 million, so this is the last financial year that the Institute's funded under those arrangements. So one of the things we looked at through the review, and its core purpose really, was to see whether there was anything that we needed to change within the current arrangements, current funding. Like I said, the outcomes were really positive and didn't identify anything that at this stage we would need to change to ensure that there's success under the current program. Outside of that, I do know that the Goolwa Institute have a business case for a phase 2 of the program. That business case has been shared with us as a department. I know with the Minister's Office, with a whole range of other partners, potential funding bodies, and the consideration of that will be that's a matter for government as a part of budget processes, but not something that we explicitly looked at as a part of the mid-term review.
Can anyone else just assist me on the timings of the decision around phase 2? Obviously, it probably hasn't come to the minister yet, but what is the sort of milestones to assist me with the next estimates and my questions?
I'm just trying to remember when the current funding runs out.
I can assist.
30 June next year, I think.
30th of April 2026.
30th of April, okay. So, you know, across government there are a range of programs that have funding due to expire sometime over the next 12 to 18 months, and obviously government needs to make a decision, whether it be through the mid-year review or next year's budget, whether to extend them. So there's been no decision made on this particular one. I am aware of it. It's been raised with me. I think you may have written to me.
I think I have. Yes, I
have. And others have as well. So, you know, by all means, we'll be back here in December.
Yes.
We may have an update for you at that point, but I'd say it's probably more likely to be next year.
Yeah. Thank you, Minister. I have a last question for Mr McConville. I understand that there was the community tour, which also found its way to the Research Institute, and I'm interested in your perspectives, since I understand you were there.
Yes, Senator, I was. So we recently spent some time with Alec and the crew there, and I think the work that they're doing is important, and certainly I've spoken with the Minister's Office and shared my views in terms of that outcome. Obviously, it's a question for government as to where the funding goes, but I think one of the things that the Institute has done really well is community engagement, and, you know, across the spectrum from sort of interest groups, environmental groups, school groups and the like, plus their research. So it was a very positive engagement, and certainly I think the work that they've been doing is been really important, you know, in that part of the world.
Do I have time, or are you going to cut me off?
Well, I'm going to indicate that it would be ideal if you were coming to a conclusion.
All right, well, I'll come to the conclusion, and just to press upon you, Minister, to revisit my letter of support and the others. It's one of the great initiatives on the river.
Thanks.